All right, here is the bench setup, bench testing setup for the new Demon Shield, which is right there. Currently, I am using some ribbon cable that's way too thick. It's 18 gauge, no need for that for going from the terminal blocks in the middle. I'm actually going to be using 22 gauge in the kits that I sell that's fully assembled. Um, Also pictured is the mount for the Arduino down here, and the Demon plate right here, which mounts everything together very nicely. It's got the power supply on the bottom. It's got holes for zip ties for like cable strain and cable management. It's got holes to mount this to a plate on the side of your machine or on the side of your table. I also have covers that will eventually be available. Uh, that'll clean this up real nicely. That'll snap over it. Also, here is the cover I designed to go over the drivers. There is spots for two 80 millimeter 24 volt DC fans, which you can just pigtail the two fans into the 24 volt power supply right there, or two 12 volts in series, I believe you can use as 24 volt too. Alright, so here we have the stepper motors attached, and I have my limit switches. They're just dangling here, and I got my probe, and I got this little jumper here that I'll use to demonstrate the pause and the resume and the abort. The abort is the last thing I will do, because when you do an abort, it shuts everything down, locks it up, and then you'd have to completely disconnect and reconnect to the controller. It's basically your emergency stop. Okay. If you wanted to stop or cancel, you'd do that in the software, and then you can make changes to what you're doing and resume. But the abort button would be your emergency stop. Okay, I'm going to put the phone down here so I can demonstrate. Alright, I just opened the connection, the port, and it is alarm locked. So the first thing I need to do, because I have my homing switches activated, is home the machine. So I'm going to do that manually by pushing the limit switches myself. Okay, we are homed and unlocked. Next, what I'll do is a probing macro so you can see what that looks like. Right now I just got this hunk of copper and the positive wire. It's a double tap macro that I have on my website, so I'm gonna tap it, and then it will go down slower, and then I'll tap it again and it'll be homed. There we go. So we are homed, we are probed for Z, and then we can send code. This is a 3D pass of a little ornament. So this is the X. These are the two Y. And you'll see the Y's move very, very little because it's just doing the step over, which is like .007 inches on this one, so they're not going to be moving a lot. This is the Z-axis, so it's going to be moving plenty. Okay, but there we are. So everything's working. Once this is all with the correct size wiring, it's going to look way tighter, way cleaner. You'll be able to actually put, I have a cover that slides into place here to cover all that up. There's access ports on the side. Let's see if we can get in there. There's access ports in the side here that you can actually get to the limit switches. It's kind of dark, can't really see it, but they line up with the limit switches. Let's see. On the drivers, and you can so everything is accessible. Or not your limit switches, the dip switches. The dip switches on the driver, all accessible with the cover on. You can read what they should be on that first one there. All the terminal blocks are all accessible straight up. But once you got the cover on, it's nice and neat. There's nothing wrong with these being out in the open. The covers on them will look nice and clean. Again, you could so here's an older version of this. Is what all that used to be. This is only a 3 driver. 4 driver takes up even more room. But similar concept of mounting. You could have a plate right here that thing just bolts right to, or further back. In the back of the cover, I don't know if you can see that, but right here there are some there's a slot there with strain relief for your motor cables to come out of. So again, this is a pretty neat package. Very powerful, up to 4 amps per driver, and as you can see, it works great. There is active filters for the limit switches and the probe. All of it has a noise filter, active, not passive. So it's all going well. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I'll be getting the first shipment of the Demon Shield in shortly, and then we'll be packaging and then shipping them out as soon as people start. As soon as the invoices get paid, they'll be shipped out, and that'll happen as soon as I get the shipment in. I'll send out invoices. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Take care.